here with current one featherweight world champion, Martin Nguyen. He's a former champ, lives in Sydney with his wife and kids. Hey man, thanks for making the time.
Anytime, man, anytime. Thanks for coming out.
This is your 6th year in one championship. Can you talk, how hard was it to break into it? You only had like 4 fights or something before you went in, right?
I had, it was my 3rd fight when I won the brace featherweight title. I beat Luke standing, first round TKO, and I thought just winning the title onto the next two, defending the title, and Kaya came through with a contract from one championship, and since signing on with them, man, I've had about 13 fights with them, so I'm on to my 3rd contract now.
Man, Kaya, that's a blast from the past. I haven't heard from him for ages, eh?
Brace MMA, man. It was the go-to back then, man, and it was the start of my professional career. And winning that title, it was always a dream of winning a title, an Australian title, let alone one championship title. So I've already achieved what I set my goals on at the start of my career, and then getting that contract just opened up new doors.
How was it resetting all your goals after like that early taste? Like, was it difficult to say this is the Australian level and what's the world level going to be like, or was it more like, all right, I've just tasted it, now I've got to set realistic goals if I'm going to make it?
So basically, when I first got the contract, I was it was just more going with the flow because I didn't know what to expect, whether I was going to be thrown in with the Wolves or building my reputation up overseas. I didn't know. I was just going with the flow, and whatever they said, I just say yes to, and that made me, going through that whole process, man. You learn so much about yourself, physically, emotionally. Who's around, who's there for you, who's not there for you, and this journey has been an up and down journey. But from where I am today, I'm thankful. I'm glad.
You reckon you've been in there 6 years. Is it harder to stay there and stay on top, or is it harder to break in for you mentally?
Look, I got my foot through the door through brace. For me now that I'm at the top, it is hard to stay at the top. You gotta put your mind. You gotta just throw that at the top out of your head, right? And you gotta think that you're always on the bottom, always trying to reach that top. Where is the top? We don't know. We don't know where the top is. We just gotta keep winning and winning and winning, and then let other people decide that. But for me, mentally, you just gotta keep putting yourself in the mind frame of I'm always losing. For real, I'm always losing in the gym, and I'd rather lose in the gym than lose in the actual cage itself. So losing itself, you learn so much, not only from how you lost, but how you can't let that happen ever again, right? And happening in the gym, man, it is what it is. We let our egos aside, so it's not like I beat you and I go to other gyms and I brag that I beat a world champion. It's a learning curve for all of us. How did I do that? Now how can I go on to the next person and do it to them? It might not work for them, it might work for him. It's a mind game. It always starts on a negative, but always ends up at a positive.
Speaking of training, you've and gyms, you've recently moved from your base in Sydney to Hard Knocks 365 in the States. How's that been? Like, what's the biggest glaring difference training in the States has been for you?
Man, it made me realize that there's levels to this game. Like in this cutthroat sport of ours that we're doing every single day, there's levels of training, there's levels of competition, there's levels of experience. And since moving from Liverpool onto Florida, I've just noticed that, like, man, if I had gone there earlier in my career, man, I would have been the triple champ, the first ever triple champ. But it is what it is. I take everything as it is, and I grow. And now that I'm at a bigger and better place, it's only bigger and better things happening.
And training partners, I'm guessing you got all kinds: Cubans, Mexicans, black, white, Asian.
Yeah, we just go from companies, man. We got one championship, we got Bellator, we got UFC, LFA, Titan. Man, there's bodies left, right, and center. There's honestly, I think there's on the professional side, there's about 60 fighters. Yeah, and they all range different weights. The team captains, we got Gilbert Burns, Kamaru Usman, Robbie Lawler, Nick Lentz. We've got all those guys, and you only mix around with bodies that match your body, or styles that match your opponent's styles. You know, I'm not gonna go with Kamaru. I mean, it doesn't work for me. You know, so I'll go with guys that actually that can help me and that can also help themselves. We all grow together. So.
No, that sounds amazing. Like just having bodies and having people to work with specifically for
Bodies, man. The bodies is one thing. People come and go, right? It's like in every gym. Everywhere you go, people come and go. The main thing is the coaches there.
Yeah.
Man, we got Henry Hoof, man, legend in kickboxing. And we got Greg Jones, Division 1 wrestler. Kami Bazani has been all around the MMA scenes, from training Jorge Masvidal to Robbie Lawler to Nick Lentz, right? And then you got a PhD doctor, Dr. Peacock, you know, doing our strength conditioning. You know, there's levels. That's what I mean. I never had that working out of a little 200 square foot gym at friggin' Liverpool, you know. So this hands-on stuff, man, is just next level.
Can you speak a little bit more about the strength and conditioning? Are they doing like pinch tests, testing your sugar levels?
When I first went there, I think I posted up on my Instagram. They make you run on a treadmill. You got oxygen stuff on you. You got like heart monitors on you, and you got the doctors. You got people around you monitoring everything. And yeah, man, it's just this guy. He's got a PhD. I don't know how big the PhD, but I think it's the last of the actual degrees in body and science. You know, and you know he I think he came from a NFL background, but then when he started training actual athletes, as in MMA athletes, you can tell, man, the results. Man, you got Anthony Rumble Johnson, all those guys, like underneath him, like he's there for a reason, you know. So his knowledge is gold.
Was it tough on your body moving up to lightweight, having a great showing there, and then skipping your natural weight class and going straight down to bantam?
Man, I still have nightmares to this day, for real. Going from lightweight down to bantamweight, like my first bantamweight fight, it was the best cut I've ever had in my career. I felt the best I've ever felt ever, right? Even to date, I just didn't have the skills behind me to back up that one piece of the puzzle that I had. All right, so when it came down to the second bantamweight cut, I was just naive. I was just like to my nutritionist, can I make the weight? I was 6 kilos over. I had 7 weeks to prepare. So that was 6 weeks, 5 days, 7 weeks to prepare. And she goes, look, her specific words to me in capital letters was, look, you can make the weight, but you are not going to feel great. And I was like, I don't care. I'll make the weight. That's it. That's all. For me as a fighter, as long as I make the weight, everything else is out the window. I just got to perform. And I lost 6 kilos in 7 weeks, and it even came up to my first and second weigh-in day. So usually first weigh-in day, because with one championship you gotta have 3 consecutive weigh-in days, 2 consecutive weigh-in days, and you don't have to weigh in the third day. So my first weigh-in day in the Philippines, I was 400 grams over, just hydrated, and I was hitting pads like half an hour in my hotel room, all wrapped up, and weigh-ins was like half an hour away. You know, so I hit the weights. I was 200 grams under. I drink water, so I was on weight. And when I jumped on the scales, I was like 0.002 under hydration. So I just made hydration. And then the second day is usually a breeze. Like you just maintain your eating and your fluids, and then the next day it's like as soon as you weigh in, you can eat whatever the hell you want, right? But the second day was just as hard as the first day. I ate, but then my body just held on. Like it went into like a stress shock, and then just held on to everything. And man, I was like, it came down to like the last 15 minutes. I was sweating buckets, and I was super dehydrated, as well as just underweight. And I was like drinking water, and then I was like measuring. I've never had to measure the cups of water that I had to take just to stay on weight. And my scale was throwing me off, and I was starting to stress, and it was the worst weight cut of my life. And look, it was a learning curve. If I had to do it again, I'll give myself much more time to prepare. But it's a learning. I mean, it's part of the sport, man. Like this is without that happening to me, I wouldn't have been here, like have the mental state that I have now. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's go to the fights that you've had. to say that you've had some spectacular knockouts, it's an understatement. But we're just going to go through 3 of them, and I just want you to sort of explain like the situation, what happened, maybe some dramas around the camp or whatnot, before like actually describing what happened. So
Sure.
we'll go back. Your second round with Edward. You could see he was trying to set you up. He'd been setting you up all fight basically, just sort of stepping outside, then trying to spin back. So
So we knew in that fight, it was a matter of speed versus power. I came from a lighter division. I was on fight day. I still remember. I asked Edward what he weighed on fight day. He was 79 and a half. All right, so he was super hydrated and everything on 77, which was their weigh-in day, right? And the next day you can eat whatever. You still gotta put on fluid and food that your body holds onto, right? And one championship weigh you after the bout. So he was 79 and a half weight on fight day. And for me, I was 71 kilos. Yeah, so he had 8
that's
and a half.
like 2 classes.
He had 8.5 kilos on me, and for a fact, we knew that was going to happen. We just, man, I was naive, man. I was facing off against him. I was like, man, I'm taller than this guy, man. I think I like when you tower over someone, you're like, man, I got this guy.
Yeah, fighter's
But
got to fight, yeah.
Yeah, man, a fighter's a fight. And then you watch the tapes back, and you're like, what
He
the
looked
hell?
thick, hey?
What the hell
He
was I
looked
thinking,
thick.
right? So yeah, it was just a matter of speed versus power. In the second round, he threw a spinning back, multiple spinning back kicks. So you've seen it, spinning kicks, spinning punches, and we knew that's his game, right? But in terms of it happening frequently, it happened too frequently, and I didn't do nothing about it. It was just like, when is this guy gonna hit him after he spins, Zach, right? And then the first time he threw it in the second round, I was like, if I don't do anything, it's over, like now.
You did have a whiff at it, hey? You did
So
have
then
one.
I stepped to a side after that first kick, and I was like, okay, the timing's right. And I knew that the moment I started stalking him more and walking him down, he's gonna throw it because I'm walking into his kick, right? That's what he wants. He wants the crowd to scream. And the rest is history, man. The punch landed mid-spin, and he was out completely, and I didn't know he was out until I landed a few hammer fists, and then I got pushed off, and I was like, oh shit, this is my friend we're talking about, right? We used to talk on the regular, and having that happen to someone you know, man, and you being the one that's doing it, it's kind of a cutthroat feeling, but it's an unforgiving sport that we're in, man.
Man, I think I wasn't the only one that was screaming from that one. Like literally,
The
it was
whole
like,
crowd went silent.
man.
The whole crowd went silent. 21,000 people all went dead silent.
Oh man, it was crazy. Next fight I want to talk about, Jadamba. He was an interesting style. Like he didn't look like he was moving across the ground so fast, but he just looked tough, and he was taking everything. And he started off with few leg kicks to you. He didn't like it when you returned the favor. Like.
Yeah. So with Jadamba, with that fight in general, I had just started at Hard Knocks 365, now known as Sanford MMA. I had just started my first camp with them. That was my first fight. Actually, I had an injury in that fight, but we won't discuss that. It's fine. In that fight, man, it was more of a chip on my shoulder, like I had something to prove, right? And being against a former world champion, it just gave me the extra motivation, right? And yeah, man, we knew he was like just one of those guys that he didn't have to work out. He was just built solid.
He's nuggety, wasn't he?
And anything he threw, we knew it was gonna be big power behind it. And that's what it was, man. Like he hit my leg, and I was like, man, I'll give it back to you. Whatever you give me, I'll give back to you. You hit me up. I knew he was hesitant because he knew that I had the power in my punches. But I was like, man, I'll kick you, you kick me. I'll kick you, you kick me. And the last kick he gave me in the first round, I was like, shit, man, that freaking hurt. That last one, and I was like, and then in my corner, I had Nguyen in my corner. He was talking to me. He goes, man, you already felt his power, man. Just go out there and have fun. And I was like, okay, let's have fun.
You didn't check them much, did you?
I was turning, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough, and that last one really hurt me. And then so coming out in that second round, I was like, let's have fun now. Like I really felt what you got, for real. I felt like my movement was much faster. My feints were throwing him off, and the only thing realistically that landed for him was the kicks. Although my body didn't like it, I was like, man, whatever you give me, I'll give back to you. And then I gave him a kick and ultimately ended in a knockout of the year contender.
Man, that last kick that sent him into the cage, he was almost done then, right?
I felt him scream. I heard him scream, so I kicked and he was like, ah, like that.
Oh.
And I was gonna stop for some reason. Like when I hear that in training, like like that, I stop.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And I don't want to hurt my my
Training
teammate.
partners, yeah.
And then when I heard that, I was like in the midst of like, oh shit, yeah, we're in a fight, right? I got to do something, right? And then ultimately, I was like, man, if I finish him with punches, everyone knows that I'm gonna finish him with punches. Just finish him with something else.
Man, that was like 2 steps, and everyone was liking Gamebred's flying knee, but you're the first one to do it.
I think Gamebred is like gangster, man. He's street Jesus, man. That was a gangster KO, but the setup in my one was just it was more on point, man.
Oh,
Gamebred was just 2 bulls running at each other, man. My one was like the beginning of the end.
Man, that was sick. Last one I want to go through, and probably your most enjoyable one. The second fight with Marat. You got caught at the start. You had a body triangle. We're looking at it going, oh, this looks like deja vu, isn't it? And
Deja vu.
you got out of that. You obviously you showed a great bit of training, and you go, look, this guy does a lot of this, does a lot of knee on belly. He likes to put the pressure on you until you turn and then sink them in. You did something a little bit different where you sort of like danced a little bit backwards, and he really rushed in. Like he had that blood just flowing, didn't he?
So we knew he was in for a kill. He wanted to finish via rear naked choke. For him to finish via rear naked choke and continue his streak, he'd have to come forward and take me down, right? And that was his ultimate goal. He said to me that he was going to finish me the same way he finished me the first fight, and we expected it. And I said all week I was being a bit cocky when I said, man, he can take my back all he wants. He's not gonna submit me. I'm telling you right now, he's never gonna submit me. I was training with Bernardo Trekker at Ribeiro Jiu-Jitsu in Sydney for that whole camp, 8 weeks. We're just working on takedown defense and defending the back choke.
That
right?
must have sucked.
That was the worst. Like, man, having someone like Trekker on you, on top of you even, that is completely draining. He is like a wet blanket, and he'll choke you out from any position. So he's like world class already. And having him in my corner, defending the takedown at the first round, as soon as Marat got those grips together, I was like, he started bending my back, and I was like, fuck, I can't defend this. I hit the ground, he got the mount, I turned, he took my back, deja vu, right? Everyone knew that was the beginning of the end, but all week, man, I was like, I've been in this, man. I've been in this position. We started off body triangles. I have had heavyweights body to triangle the shit out of me to the point where my ribs were about to pop, and even they couldn't submit me. So when Marat had the body triangle line, man, it was like I've been there, done that. I know how to get out of this, and it was just a matter of time, stalling. He couldn't get it. His punches were like mosquito bites. So I was like, all right, he's gonna open up, and we're gonna scramble. And the scramble was the main thing that was gonna get him off guard. Not only get him off guard, but like get him tired, right? And multiple scrambles we've had, and second round coming out, he was, looked like he went 5 rounds in 1 round.
He looked like he was way eager, right? Like he thought he'd blown his wad, sort of thing. He's like, I should have finished
Should've
him,
held on.
and I don't think he let that go. So he came in a little bit chin happy, I guess. And
I think with that camp, he put all his eggs in a basket with his rear naked choke, right? And as a champion, as a mixed martial artist in general, you can't really do that. I mean, you got to train for every bit of scenario, every single bit of technique that you think, even if you think your opponent's gonna do, you got to train for it, right? And for a fact, we knew because he actually said what he was gonna do. I was like, man, he said he's gonna come forward. So we baited him, and the more he came forward, man, and I landed that right hand a few times, but it just didn't really affect him. But that one time where he was tired and he let slip, that's the one that changed everything, man.
it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Iconic images after that as well. Right?
Definitely.
That one with you on your knees with the belt in your hand. That was.
It was always.
I'm a photographer. I have to do it.
It was always that. Not only that moment, but I'm always like, that was my first world title. Like, as I said, everyone dreams of winning a title. To get my first world title, and the way it happened and the story behind it. The main thing was the story behind it. That was a big thing, you know.
Oh yeah, come back. It was
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
deja vu. You couldn't write. Rocky couldn't write it better than that, right?
Definitely.
Moving on. Upcoming fights. I know you can't talk too much about it, but this quarter,
Definitely first quarter. Maybe just a bit after the first quarter, but it's definitely happening the first quarter-ish. And it's going to be a very exciting fight. Very, very exciting fight, this one.
there's so many contenders that want to fight you.
Definitely,
Like obviously Christian wants to fight you.
of course.
Murat wants the number 3. Is there anyone that you think you should fight next, or everyone just needs to line up and take it?
Man, obviously I know for a fact that there's going to be multiple contenders. It's inevitable. I'm here to fight. Everyone in this division has a target on their back, as I do on my back. So whomever, I'll be ready no matter what. But there's a few names that I have on my radar already, and I've hit up the boss about it, but they have their plans for me, so I just have to go with the flow and go with that.
That's awesome. We're going to go slightly different now. We're going to talk about people. I'm going to just give you a person's name. Just tell me your thoughts, your feelings, how you got along with them, and just your history.
Sure.
So first one, just a nice easy one. Brooke.
Brooke, my wife, she's like my rock, for real. Man, she's my manager, she's my wife, she freaking is everything in my life. So she runs, I'm just a puppet, and she does everything. Like, so she says, man, you got training now, you got training here, you're going overseas, you got to do this. Everything runs through her.
That's awesome.
Dates and everything. So she's like, man, she's my go-to. Even when I feel like shit, even when she feels that shit, we're always together, no matter what.
Yeah, it must be just nice just having one less stress in your life.
Definitely,
right?
100%, man.
Next name, Chatri.
Chatri's a man, like, who has a boss that is like, who's been through what you go through, right? People can say that they've been through the trenches, but Chatri himself has been through the trenches, and he helps all of us, man. He's set up my life, he set up my family, and I'm forever thankful.
He's a legit guy, hey.
Man, he's legit.
Recent brown belt.
A lot of haters out there, man, but you know what? You don't know until you know, man. And when I first met Chatri, man, he was just always busy on the go. I never really knew him, and we started chatting, and then when I won my titles, we started chatting more, and then opportunities came, and I was just forever grateful. Just one opportunity after the other, and it just completely took me off guard, but forever thankful, man.
Mate, you must be the best employee. Fight this person. Sign. Done. Last one. Ang.
That motherfucker. He is freaking awesome, man. Not ever would you ever fault him, man. Like, for real, he is the most genuinely nice guy you would ever meet. Ever. Period.
You had his family over, didn't you?
Man, I had his family over. I've been over his house. I stayed with him 3 times now. 4th time coming up. And man, him and his wife, man, we've just been through a lot, right? So I came from nothing. My parents had nothing. He came from nothing. He started his whole life from scratch, man. Like, and having a family and having no money, it's very hard, man. It makes you want to. It makes you want to have to get up and actually go to work, like a normal person, right? But the career that we're doing, we're so in love with it that to do this sport, you have to do it full time, for real. You have to put all your eggs in a bucket, or you can't. Or it's not gonna work out right.
It's too dangerous otherwise.
Yeah,
it's too dangerous.
And for myself, my story and Ang's story is very, very similar, man. And when we first met, we chatted, and we're like, oh man, like this guy has gone through everything that I've been through, and we can relate. And that's the main thing. We can relate, and we can sympathize and everything like that. So he's an awesome person, man.
We'll go through some general interest stuff. So we know you're a fighter. We know you as champ, taking heads. I hear you like a bit of gaming.
I do.
Well, what system are you on and what are you playing right now?
So console-wise, I am PS4, and I have my laptop that I carry everywhere with me. So shout out to Razor. They got my back for that one.
Nice.
Yeah, man. I game on the PC and I game on the PS4 and just whatever the mood is, man. I can jump on that. I can jump on that. I don't play for competitiveness. I don't go for pro or whatever. I just like to play it because I mean that's what I've been doing my whole life, man.
Motorbikes. Let's talk about it. We see you rolling in a sweet Duke, right? A Ducati, right? What model is that? And what motorbikes did you have growing up? Like
Yeah, so-
us sort of similar generations. I've had like 4 motorbikes growing up as well, and every one of them my parents have hated. So
Of course, man. Like I still remember my father's face when I brought home my first bike. He was like, and he was having a party too, so I brought it home in front of everyone. So
I kept it at my
I
grandma's.
started off with MC22, MC22, CBR, CBRR, whatever it was, 250. I had about 3 of them. Just sold one onto next, but it ended up being the same bike, just different looks. And I had an RVF 400, so it was like a Honda thing. And then from there, I went to a Jigsaw 600, no, Jigsaw 750, and from the 750 I went to 1000 in the Jigsaw range. And then from Jigsaw's I went to the Ducati 1198 S, and from the 1198 S now I got the 1199.
Ink. You've got some nice pieces now. What's your favourite piece? And just explain what it is for you.
Yeah,
I'll
so,
insert a picture here somewhere.
Yeah, so I've got a Hanya mask on my left chest. So originally I got the chest piece to cover up a scar that I had. Throughout training, I've got an infection that was like very, very bad. Left a big hole in my chest. So when my skin grew back, it keloided. And so I just got like a chest piece to cover it up. But this chest piece I wanted to be very specific. And my MMA career started building from there. And so the Hanya mask, everyone says I'm a family man and you know why am I always fighting and all that stuff. Like my parents always put me on the spot with that. So the Hanya mask, man, Japanese role play. You know, they put it on to change character, right? This is a warrior mask that I have on my chest, and I put it on when it comes to the cage. You know, I change into a warrior, man. I do whatever I have to do
That's awesome.
to get my hand raised, and yeah, man, the rest is history. I got a koi on my right chest piece, and I got 2 kois on my arm. Represents my kids.
Man, that's sweet. Any ideas for some more or?
There was plans for my whole left arm to be done, or back piece as well, by my wife.
She likes to
She's
see
the boss,
some skin,
man.
right?
She's the boss. She's the boss, man. Whatever she says goes, really.
All right. There's no way you can focus being a full-time fighter without the help of sponsors. Did you want to give a couple of them a quick shout out?
Yeah, 100%, man. Jim King. I'm pointing out my chest. It's right here in the middle. I got Jim King. Razor's helped me out. I also have Saigon Sports Club. The brothers there are always down to help me and support me all the way. They've been supporting me for years. I'm forever grateful with Saigon Sports Club. I've got Ducati now. The One Elite team, man, they're killing it for me.
And finally, how can everyone get in touch with you? Like, what can they find you on?
Yeah, so the main platforms, social platforms that I'm on, obviously Instagram at It's Martin, and then there's Twitter. I don't really go on that, but it is what it is. It's Martin Nguyen MMA, and I have my fighters page, which myself, my coach, and my wife take care of, manage. It's Martin Situation Nguyen, and yeah, and I keep my Facebook, my actual Facebook page private for me.